riders, it's Josh from CycleHunters.com. And here we have today an interesting bike, to say the least. This is a 2016 Suzuki GSX-S1000F. So just looking at it real quick, you might think it's a GSX-R, but it's not. This is what you would pretty much consider a sports standard, an upright standard sport bike. This also has here the Renthal fat bars so that you have a much more upright riding position. So for anybody that wants that performance of maybe the GSX-R 1000 but doesn't want to sit on the bike in an aggressive forward, canted forward position, more like the racing position, this is the bike for you. This would be considered an all-day sport bike. Something that's easily got the power to get you where you want to go and definitely get you moving. Keeping up with the pack is not going to be a problem with this bike. And as we get into this, you're going to see it is a used bike. Like all of our bikes, there's some blemishes, little ones here and there, but overall it's a great looking bike. Paint is an actual black, and there's a maroon accent, which that does have some light flake in it. Kind of tough to see that. As far as aftermarket stuff on this bike, there's really only a couple little things, which come down to the heated grips, which is probably one of the best little features that you can get, especially as it gets into the colder riding weather. The Renthal fat bar, it's just more or less a little bit of a more substantial bar, and the Pooch windscreen. So this is an extra tall windscreen. So for folks that are on the highway, this keeps that wind pressure from tiring you out so much on the road. So you can ride for a lot longer, go longer distances, which means it maximizes that fun level, which is the all-important thing on any bike. So like I said, as we get into this, you're going to see paint's really in nice condition. There's not much for blemishes. There's like a little bit of a scuff going on there. Kind of tough to see it. Going down, you can see the wheels are really in nice shape. A little bit of a neck right there. But other than that, that's pretty much it there. The biggest blemish is this one right here. This is a repair on there. It was cracked, but now it is all back connected and as best as it can possibly get without replacing it. And you can see everything else as far as the engine cases, frame, up onto the tank. It's real nice. These bikes are so much fun because you can ride it, like I said, all day, have total confidence that you're going to stay. Well, there's a little blemish right there. You're not going to get too tired. You're going to stay alert. You're going to have that windscreen protecting you. It's the little spools for the rear stand. Little one right there. If you have a passenger on the bike, it makes it a little bit easier for them as well because they're sitting more upright. They're able to hold on and they're not leaning so far forward. So right here, you can see on there, on this one, there's a little hook for bungees and such. So that has broken off. So more or less, you're gonna tie the bungee to this spot right here, or you just get a new stand for the foot peg. There's the other spool for the frame stander. But you can imagine going through the twisties on this bike. It's got the power to squirt you out of the corners, get you hustling down the road, and you can get back into the corners. Because again, this is, for the most part, it is a sport bike. It just has the handlebars. So you can see clearly that the bars are above the triple tree, and you're, again, elbows out, so you have leverage leaning from side to side, which makes it a much more comfortable ride for people, especially if you're somebody, like I said, that is looking for a sport bike, but you didn't really want to be in a race style position for the duration of your ride. Little one right there. These two right there. But overall, it gives you the ability to ride just longer distances, longer time, without really having much to deal with in terms of the pressure on your forearms and your upper body, which on a sport bike, it's like doing a push-up the whole time for the most part. And again, nothing wrong with that. It just comes down to when you open your garage and you look at your sport bikes, if you have two of them, and you're just looking for a much more easily used bike, but it has the power, this is the one. If you want one that's going to be that more aggressive style, then you're going to wind up with a sport bike that has the clip-ons like this one. Underneath, you're leaning way more forward. There's way more pressure on your wrists. And again, you can almost kind of equate it to doing a push-up the whole time you're riding, because you're really leaning on that, you're leaning forward. So controls on this one are very straightforward. This does have some extra things. You have your pass right here, so you can see if you have somebody in front of you that you need to alert to get out of your way or whatever, that you're behind them, you can flash them with that. These are your modes. So you have trip modes. You can see them cycling through there. Your trips. That's your odometer right there. This bike only has 6,822 miles on it, so not a lot of mileage. You can see there's a digital tach, your digital speedometer, your gear select, your traction control select, your temperature gauge, how much range for your fuel, which you do have the fuel gauge going from empty to full, which is really nice. A lot of people love that stuff because it's so much easier to gauge when you're riding where you're, how much, you know, the distance you got before you got to go fill up again. And your clock right here. ABS light, traction control light, neutral, your check engine light. Looks like there's a high beam, low beam there. Your turn signals. And underneath there, you can't really see it too well, but again, there's an engine, and then it looks like for high beam and low beam. There you go, you can see that one. On right here, your mode selector, up and down, select, turn signal, left, right, cancel, horn. Over here is your on off and the all important start. So here we go. I don't need to use the clutch to pull in to get the bike started. You can tell it has a deep tone to it. GSX-R 1000 motor. But with this bike, pretty quiet because you have a fully stock exhaust and it does not disappoint. So when you get on this thing, you're going to hear it. Ooh, that's snappy. Oh my goodness, yeah. That is nice. That is real nice. Snappy, responsive motor. And it's got the big Brembo brakes to get you stopped with all that power. And it does have the ABS again. You can tell by that little wheel right there. See the tach? Nice digital tach. Let's see high beam, low beam here, since we got her on. So what you do is you push forward, that's your high beam. Pull it back, that's your low beam, and you pull it like a trigger, you can flash it. So that's high beam, low beam, and flash. And let's go left rear turn signal. So all stock turn signals and tail. There's going to be left front. Cancel. This is going to be right rear. And then right front. The mirrors are cool too. How they have that kind of, looks like a seed or a sort of a teardrop. A little bit of extra cool design for the whole motif. Very, very muscular stance in the bike. You know, even these tails, people love to take them off. It doesn't look bad. It really doesn't. Looks good. So we'll cancel that. There we go. It is fuel injected, 1000 cc of Suzuki GSX-R power. So again, overall, the bike is in really, really great shape. Low mileage, beautiful looking machine, ABS, kind of tough to beat, especially, like I said, if you are somebody that is a sport bike fan, but you don't want to be leaning forward the entire time and you just want to have a little bit more of a comfortable ride, this is the bike for you. All of our bikes as well, now you can see, is our battery tender lead. We go through a 48-point checklist to ensure that the bike is as close as we can make it to 100%. So oil and filter, those are basic things. If the bike needs tires, we put tires on it. This has really good meat. These are pretty much almost new. We're checking the charging system. We're doing as much as we can to really make it so that when you get the bike, all you're doing is opening up the garage door, checking that out, put a big smile on your face, thumb the starter, get going down the road, and you just ride.
When we service your bike, we hand you a key, not a need to have a toolbox. How about that one?
You just want to run and just have fun. So if you're digging the 2016 Suzuki GSX-S1000F, give us a call at 717-273-1809. You can see the full list of current inventory at www.cyclehunters.com. You can email us at cyclehunters@gmail.com. We have some financing options available. We can ship bikes, in some cases deliver them. We have aftermarket warranties available. It really just boils down to what is it that we need to do to accommodate you so that that can be in your garage, giving you a happy day of riding. It's all about those miles of smiles, and that's a really great looking bike. Cool lines, aggressive. It's a GSX-R. It's just an upright GSX-R. A standard GSX-R, if you will. Well, I hope you like it as much as I do. But until the next bike, happy riding.